Infamously speaking, week 3, we're standing on business like the Las Vegas Raiders, making business decisions. The players on the field, we're on the pod. I'm your host, Matt Rosa, joined by my guy, Quan, man. How you doing?
Welcome to the jungle where Jaden came to play. Monday Night Football, man. I feel like John Gruden on fucking coke. I'm not on coke, but like if I was John Gruden on coke, that's how I would feel. Like I'm a fucking 80s rock star. But I wouldn't be sending like explicit emails and shit like that.
I think the more you talk, the deeper the hole. Yeah. So we're just gonna keep moving on.
Okay.
No, all right.
No, the reason why I say that though, real quick, before we drop the beat and let that music hit their soul, did you watch Gruden on YouTube?
I haven't watched any of the Gruden stuff yet.
All right, then that's why you don't get the analogy. Watch him on YouTube, guys. This guy's like fucking. He's like Ultimate Warrior with Ric Flair all in one. You don't know them either.
I do.
All right.
Come on, Nature Boy. Woo! Infamously speaking, week 3. Let's get it.
We're here.
Welcome back to Infamously Speaking, the show that definitely supports Dare.
Yo, I used to love Dare, man.
Man, we got a packed show today. As Quan said, Jaden's jungle. He goes into Cincinnati, absolutely cooks up that Cincinnati Bengal defense. The Vikings put the league on notice with a huge ride of the Houston Texans. Dallas gets absolutely ran over at home for the second straight week. My Los Angeles Rams, with the stunner win of the week, come back to beat the 49ers with a game-winning field goal. Kansas City with some more ref drama in the fourth quarter. Man, what a fucking week. That, plus our rapid fire takes on other week 3 games, and we're going to look ahead to week 4. This show's going to be lit. Don't go anywhere. Quan, I'm going to kick it to you, man, because you called the game. You were hype at the top of the show. You deserve it. I'll give you your flowers.
Washington, yeah, I appreciate it.
At Cincinnati, take it away.
I appreciate it. You know, you got a big lead on me with the first week. The second week, he's about even. Or now I had 2 games ahead. But I did call this game. Big fan of Jaden Daniels. Been a fan of Jaden Daniels since the draft was coming because I wanted him in New England. And this is the reason
New
why.
York too.
Yeah, this is the reason why though. He's a game changer. You know, they was talking to his teammates and they was like, yeah, he he's that guy. So he's the face of that franchise. You know, I believed in Washington a couple years ago when they had Chase Young and that defense was turning around. So now's their time. And to go into Cincinnati, a team that is 2 or 3 years removed from a Super Bowl, and win like that, I think that was a hell of a statement, to say the least. It was very infamous of Jaden Daniels to put on that black eye paint and go in there like he was Rambo and fuck shit up.
Yeah, I mean, man, I'm disappointed because I picked Cincinnati, of course. That's why I'm disappointed. Also, that Jaden Daniels is not a New York Giant. That's another reason I'm disappointed. Even though, man, Malik Neighbors, we'll get to him. So, I mean, we didn't get Jaden, but we got Leak, so I'm okay with that. Man, I was just thoroughly impressed. I'm thankful that the other Monday night game was so boring and so bad that I could just focus on this one completely. Jaden Daniels, I mean, that's where you have to start. That's where you end, right? The best single game rookie quarterback performance I think we've ever seen. I mean, 21 to 23, the 2 touchdowns.
He was like, was he 91%?
Yes,
Yeah,
91%. I mean, just
yeah,
absolutely surgical precision. Finally got Terry involved. That throw that he made to Terry for the touchdown to seal the game as he's
incredible,
getting hit.
incredible,
My goodness. Just
incredible.
incredible poise. And I think I had to go back and look because I'm like, man, they scored every time they got the ball, except for when they went into half and to end the game. They scored against the Giants every drive last week. That was 7 scoring drives. So I was like, man, how long is this streak going? And I looked back. Their last drive in Tampa, they scored. So 14 straight drives, they've scored points. That is
That's
for a rookie
yeah,
quarterback
yeah. That's
to do
crazy.
that is ridiculous.
That's
I mean, we
crazy.
were making a huge big deal of Derek Carr starting the year with 15 straight scoring drives. Jaden Daniels next week has the chance to surpass that. And so then I look back, I'm like, man, maybe it was some short fields they were getting. All but one of those 14 drives, the best starting field position that Washington had was their own 40. So
Yeah,
he's driving the length of the field, right? Or,
yeah,
from the 30 on, because with the new kickoff rules, a majority of the time,
yeah,
and getting these points. And we talked about it last week. They would have scored touchdowns against the Giants. It was just a lot of self-inflicted penalties, false starts,
yeah,
illegal formations that
yeah.
kind of put him in first and goal, but like 15 yards out. Just incredible, man. And on the flip side from Cincinnati, Joe Burrow was great. 29
Yes,
of
his best
38,
game I've seen him play in quite some
in a
time, bro.
while. 3
Yeah,
touchdowns. T. Higgins comes back, and Jamar Chase is just completely activated. 6 for 118, 2 touchdowns. But we always say the best way to beat great quarterbacks is to keep them off the field as long as you can. And the way that you do that is by scoring every single time you touch the ball and having these long multi-play drives. I think all their scoring drives, I think the least amount of plays I saw was like 6. So
yeah. That's
they're not
wild.
just getting these massive chunk plays.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
first down, big play to Ertz. Eckler pops a run. Jaden runs for a first down. Brian Robinson might pop one. Just incredible performance, man.
Yeah, no, that's the thing too. And we've seen it, I think, in the past where the NFL doesn't adjust yet because they're not quite sure how to figure it out. Example: wildcat formation, right?
Right.
Other types of running quarterbacks. He's special, right? Even if you have him, right? He has that breakaway ability to turn nothing into something. Even if it's 3 yards, it's still 3 yards as opposed to -4, -5. And you got to respect that. And then when you start doing that consistently, and like you said, the play after it's methodical, the defense is getting tired.
It's a
And
killer.
yeah, it's demoralizing. So it's like, man, how the hell do we keep up? Even though Cincy lost, I do want to give him credit for keeping up because as bad as Cincy has been playing, you can see some light.
For sure. I mean, they've gotten better every week. And I think they played a good game last week. But you brought up a good point, right? Since he's not, 3 years removed from playing against the Rams in the Super Bowl, do you think that, um, and that the NFL fan base as a whole, even some of the media, is overvaluing Cincinnati because of that performance? Because you see them continuously getting picked to be like
Yes,
the people
yes,
to beat the Chiefs because they've done it before.
yes.
Curious to your thoughts on that.
I do feel that way. I felt that way when they were picking them this year because Joe's healthy and Chase and Higgins came back. Um, I didn't see why they were considered Super Bowl contenders because of 3 years ago. Why? That doesn't make sense. We've seen someone be a Super Bowl in the Super Bowl and then completely fall off in the past. Eagles. But realistically, I think they have a good team, but they have a lot of things to work on to even be considered in that conversation. And they started off 0-3 in a tough division. You got the Steelers at 3-0.
Yeah, they're looking up big time. And
Yeah.
I was, going back to 2000, since 2000, only one team that started 0-3 has made the playoffs, and that was the 2018 Texans.
Wow.
Now, the good news, I guess the good news for Cincinnati is their schedule. So their next 4 games at Carolina, which all of a sudden isn't maybe the win that you think it's going to be. Home for Baltimore, which division games are always tough, but then you're at the Giants, so you'd think you'd win that game, and then at Cleveland, who Joe's struggled against in his career, but they look like they're going nowhere extremely quick. And so I think if you go 3-1 in that stretch and you finish your first 7 games 3-4, they're very much alive. But they need to win at least 3 of their next 4 to keep pace.
Well, based off that schedule,
that's
the likelihood of that happening is very high.
Yeah, they should.
Right, and then I don't know who the Steelers play. I don't have the schedule in front of me right now, but obviously it's going to take some help from the rest of the league to help knock them back so they can be about even in about 3 to 4 games.
Yeah, pending. I mean, what a statement win by Washington though, and now Dallas.
I said it, man. Said, this is his coming out party. You put him in the bright lights, that kid is going to shine. Man. He's shining.
What really impressed me too, because I think a lot of concern that people had for him coming out the draft was his build, right? Slender compared to some of the quarterbacks that we see have success in the league. And so, but he's taking hits, popping right back up, throwing through them, and tougher to bring down than what his body type might suggest. So that sounded crazy, actually. I might erase that. But you know what I mean by that. You know what I mean by that. Let's move on before I make it even weirder. Shout out to Washington, man. Great game. Let's move on to the quarterback that was selected before Jaden. Caleb Williams takes the Chicago Bears into Indy and loses 21-16. We both picked the Colts in this game. I don't think either of us thought that it was going to look like this as far as from an Anthony Richardson playing perspective. 2 rough games in a row. 2 really rough games in a row.
It's only going to get worse. Because that's who the Steelers play, actually. I remember because I had to adjust my lineup. And the Steelers, number 1 in defense, I believe, this year so far.
Relentless defense.
With TJ Watt over there. So it's going to be spooky. And I say that not because it's Halloween. I say that because TJ Watt is coming to fuck Anthony Richardson up. And here's what I have to say about this, right? I know we talked about rookies of the year. I have Jaden Daniels winning that. I know some people got Neighbors for what he's doing. Incredible season. I have both of them in the dynasty league, so I'm excited about that. Have 2 great players for the future. But with Caleb Williams, and don't get me wrong, I think Caleb Williams is a good good quarterback. Obviously, he's going to have some learning curves being a rookie, but realistically, not many people can get the job done with that O-line. He's having no time to do anything, so it makes it very difficult. Again, I think the biggest surprise about this game specifically is the play of Anthony Richardson. I know you and I talked even on Sunday. We're like, why the fuck did he throw that pass? Like, he had no reason to throw that pass.
None.
It was a turnover. He's costing his team a possible win, right? If he plays a different team that has an O-line, it's an opportunity for them to take away points from Indy and put points on the board. So he's got to clean that up. He's got to work on his accuracy. I don't know what the hell is going on, but he's overthrowing players by like 10, 15 yards. It's
consistently.
It's not a good look. And I'm a believer in Anthony Richardson. I want him to do well, but he's got to tighten up because this is not it.
No, it's not. Thankfully, they got an all-pro running back in Jonathan Taylor who continues to have a strong start to the season. 23 carries, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. Looks explosive again.
Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah.
I do like the angle, and I appreciate the angle you took on Caleb because I think people are, especially now with the success that we saw Jaden especially have, but even Bo Nix have, and we'll get to that game too. It's easy to look at and be like, man, 2 touchdowns, threw 52 times, only scored 16 points against a Colts defense that just got destroyed by Malik Willis, right? But I think what you called out about that offensive line, probably one of the most, if not the most overrated unit going into the season. Now that we have these games in front of us, it's them and the Dallas defense. They're like right next to each other. Bears O-line, Dallas defense, most overrated units in football going into the season, I think. And I saw a stat. I believe he's been sacked 13 times so far in 3 games, which is fucking ridiculous. That's over 4 a game.
Yeah.
And he's on pace over the course of 17 games, I think, to be sacked 73 times. That is insane. He's by far the most sacked quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
And so he's just not having the time to throw. When he has the time, you can see what he can do, right? The throw he made to Odunze was great. He does still have some head-scratching decisions. One of the interceptions he threw was just bad. Like, don't know what you saw there and just let it go because you're probably getting sacked, right? But you see when he has time, what he can do, right? Odunze, 6 for 112. Komet, 10 for 97. DJ Moore, 8 for 78. They got weapons. I think
DJ yards was a little that one catch. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I didn't mean to cut you off.
But what I think was even maybe more telling than the pressure is they can't run the ball at all.
Yeah.
At all. Josh Jacobs tore this defense up last week. They cannot run the ball. I mean, DeAndre Swift 13 for 20?
Bro, it goes back to the line, though. When you talk about it, it all starts in the trenches, bro. Whether you're blocking, pass blocking, or run blocking, it starts in the trenches.
They can't do anything.
You know, we talked about it. It's like, damn, there's a lot of teams with bad O-lines. A lot. Who was the other one we talked about?
We talk about the Giants a lot.
The Giants O-line. The Patriots O-line, because Drake, remember when Drake came in? The O-line is an opportunity. So, for all those parents out there, feed your kids, get them get them ready because there's going to be career opportunities.
Somehow make them 6'8", 350 at 16 years old.
But look what happens when you have a line. Look at the Chargers, bro. Nobody thought the Chargers would be doing what they're doing. Not that they're great, but even to start off with J.K. Dobbins running the ball, that goes to the line. That offensive lineman, what's it, Joe Alt? Like, is that his name?
Crazy.
Yo, he's crazy.
He could probably block a plane.
I might be able to run behind him.
Man, he's getting. We'll talk about the Chargers, but the push that he's getting is ridiculous. What a great pick by Harbaugh. You know that's what he wanted to do. He's like, forget it. I don't give a shit. I don't care if we got Justin Herbert. Who's he throwing to? Ladd McConkey, Edward Scissorhands, Quentin Jefferson.
That's crazy. He got 3 touchdowns. Wow.
3 touchdowns. Yeah, I got him in a couple of leagues too.
Yeah. Trade him.
So now that we saw we're 3 weeks in, obviously Caleb was a super hype prospect coming in. Everybody was just absolutely going crazy for him. Is it time we look back and say, hey, did Chicago make the right decision? Or do you feel like we need more time to see it? Or are you like, no, Chicago definitely should have picked Jaden?
You're asking me this question.
I'm asking you the question.
I'm asking you to answer this first. Come on, bro. I told you I believed in Jaden since the draft. Jaden should have been number 1. My opinion. And I wish you would have asked me this last week, to be quite honest, because it would have been the same answer.
Yeah, I feel like you would have given the same answer.
But it wouldn't have been because of the Monday Night Football game. I promise you that. I wanted Jaden Daniels in New England so bad. I'm like, fucking trade away. Do something. Like, move up. Or maybe Washington just fuck up and take Drake over Jaden. But obviously that didn't happen. So to answer your question, I want to say they fucked up because I think Caleb's going to be a fine quarterback in the future, but I don't think he's the better quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still holding out reservation. Not that Jaden's not going to be minimum good, right? But what Caleb was able to show in college, now this isn't college, and we've said that like 500 times on the show because the mistakes that he makes is very college esque. Things that you can get away with in college that you
Even
can't get
in
away in the
college, he was
pros.
fucking making mistakes.
But I mean, definitely stark contrast. I mean, we're talking about 80% completion, 80% completion percentage for Jaden, not even 60 for Caleb. 664 yards. Passing yards about even,
And
but
and look at the
Jalen's
receivers.
rushing. Yeah, the receivers are crazy. But
Look
again,
at the
like you said,
receivers.
line play. And I think what's interesting, if you look at the opponents that they played, Caleb got Tennessee. He played his worst game of the year against Tennessee. Got Houston, tough defensive team, played a little bit better. Now this time they played Indy, who's not really known for their defense. I think just eye test, this was his best game as a pro.
Yeah,
Just watching
yeah.
him, the way he was moving, better decision making. He had a couple plays that are like, but the line, you could just tell. He was like, I got to get rid of this fucking shit. I'm throwing it. I don't give a shit. Oh, Rome's down there somewhere. I'm throwing this shit.
Yeah.
And then who Jaden's played, Tampa, who suffered a weird loss. The Giants, watch out for the Giants. Sneaky good? No, definitely not. And
Yeah, but the Giants
Cincinnati,
got to think about it, right? Tampa has a good defense, decent defense.
decent.
I want to
Yeah.
say it's in the better half of the league, if I'm not mistaken. Then you got the Giants defense, who just destroyed Cleveland.
I think
What they
everybody.
had 9 sacks though.
I think that's gonna be a trend. No, but I agree with you.
What I'm saying is, I get it. A trend with Cleveland, I get that. But what I'm saying is, the Giants, if they're gonna be known for anything, it's that pass rush with Burns there now, right?
We talked about that. He got his first sack. He got his first sack.
So the point being is, like, Jaden didn't have it. I think Caleb definitely had it easier in terms of the defensive plays that they had to go against.
Well, I'm just saying that what I meant was like the opponents. What I was trying to get at is pretty similar. Or if you want to say Jaden had it tougher, I wouldn't say by much. But where the killers, and we talked about this, was he has 15 rushing first downs. Just smart. He knows when to use his legs. He knows how to keep drives alive. And those are the killers. And so clearly he's the favorite for rookie of the year. I'm not sure if we're gonna say, hey, yeah, they definitely made the wrong, because who knows what Jaden looks like if he's in Chicago. Now he gets to use that athletic ability more, but I say the jury's still out. But I mean, it's definitely tilting in Jaden's favor. But let's give it some more time. Let's give it some more time before we get too crazy. Let's move on to one of the more surprising outcomes, I think, of the week. Houston goes into Minneapolis. I said that they were going to make Sam Darnold see ghosts. Well, Sam Darnold had other plans because they absolutely killed Houston.
Yeah.
34-7. And so I'll let you take first pick here. You want to talk about Houston? You want to talk Minnesota?
I want to talk Minnesota.
Go ahead.
Actually, you know what? No. I'll let you go. I had the Cincy game first. Did you talk?
Yeah, I took Bears take.
Okay. I do want to go Minnesota. I think that first and foremost, I always appreciated their coach. I think that their coach does a fine job,
awesome.
right? And if I'm not mistaken, they got Flores as the defensive coordinator.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you already know how I feel about Flores. I thought Flores should have been the first man up after Bill Belichick to get that job. I felt like his presence is rightfully so. They didn't like him in Miami for whatever reason. He didn't believe in Tua. Tua don't know where he's at. You know, they got
That's
all
crazy.
that shit going out. The defense, he got that defense playing.
Well, that's
bro.
great. That's crazy.
That defense is playing.
Infamously speaking, needs sensitivity training. Clearly, that shit is crazy.
But I think one of your questions to me was Sam Darnold, MVP candidate, right? Was that one of your questions?
Yeah, MVP candidate, or should we be on pumpkin alert?
Yo, he's an MVP candidate right now, guy. He's an MVP candidate. If this is anybody else playing the way he's been playing, you're like, for example, if this was on the other shoe and this was Stroud doing what
fact.
Sam Darnold's doing, we're easily talking about MVP race already.
100%.
It's just because it's Sam Darnold and what his past is.
That's right.
But now let's not always judge a character by his past. Let's talk about what he's doing now. And he's cooking right now.
He's
and
making
you know what
people
I like
see
most?
ghosts.
You know what I like most about Sam Darnold? He got fucked up. He got injured. He took a play off and came right back in.
That's not where I thought you were going. I thought you said what I like most about Sam Darnold is that he gets to throw to Justin Jefferson.
I mean, I'm sure that's what he likes most.
But that's where you were going.
No, not even just Aaron Jones.
Oh, Aaron Jones, man. He had a game.
I got him in a lot of fantasy leagues as my number one running back because I felt like he could just produce. He still has that quickness. The volume's going to be there, and he catches passes. PPR leagues all day.
And McConnell just knows how to use his weapons, man. Like you said, great coach.
In your take, you want to go on your side?
Yeah, I'll take the Houston angle. Thank goodness I'm not a Houston fan because this shit was rough. This shit was absolutely rough. Now, do things happen like this? Sure they do, right? Where you just have a bad game, off game. But I wish I could say it was just that. If you look at over their 3 games, what we expected out of Houston was tough defense, right? D'Amico Ryan's defense, get after the quarterback with Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson Jr. They got a great corner and Derek Stingley. First game they played against Indy, defense didn't look so great, right? Anthony Richardson actually had his best game of the year, and Anthony Richardson does not look super great, but he looked good. He looked pretty good against the Texans. Then they go play against Chicago. Defense shows up, but that's against a rookie quarterback. Offense doesn't look great. And then this week, offense does not look great at all. CJ under pressure. I think Minnesota's defense has had 4 sacks every game. So far, I believe a minimum of 4 sacks every game. Like they're getting after the quarterback. CJ did not look comfortable at all game. They had struggled running the ball. They're missing Joe Mixon, but their defense didn't look good. And so we have yet to see a complete game by Houston this entire season. They just got luck of the draw. They got to play Indy, who has their own struggles, and Chicago, who might have the worst offensive line in football.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's like they only ran 45 plays before, Mills came in, right? The blowout, but they only ran 45 plays. They only ran the ball a handful of times. They can't do that. They need possessions. And I think the biggest thing, like you just said, was Mixon being out, to be quite honest. You're relying on Cam Akers coming off a torn Achilles. Like, that's not a good look.
Right.
And you got a Flores defense. The Flores defense, they talked about a majority of the game. He had CJ Stroud confused.
He was seeing ghosts
all game.
He was seeing ghosts. Sam Darnold treatment. CJ, Sam Darnold alert? Who's going to be the pumpkin here? Nah, I mean, come on. We know who CJ is. But, just Houston as a whole, not so great. Thankfully for them, they're in a division that they should run away with.
And I'm still a believer of D'Amico Ryans, right? Like we talked about it. I think he's a phenomenal coach. They have the talent. 100%. I just think that Mixon has to get healthy. I think they have to mix up some of the plays they're calling. And I think Tank Dell got injured for a minute too. I don't know if he came back because I was watching Red Zone, so I didn't stick solely on that game. But I think Tank Dell is the X factor just because of what he can do, right? He can stretch the field extremely fast, but also on end-around routes and running plays. You know what I mean? Like just carrying the ball, mixing it up a little bit. Almost like the Deebo Samuel of that team.
Right. No, and I think that's a great point. And of course the Mixon point too. Just really strange. And maybe so my question is it time to buy Minnesota? As like, hey, wait a minute. Like
The
they could compete for NFC.
I believe when we first started the season, and obviously it's hard to predict with injuries with Jordan Love and stuff, right? But I think the Vikings was the only ones we had not making the playoffs out of this division. And now they're 3-0. Sam Darnold's playing. You gotta give it to him. He's fucking playing great.
Yeah, I mean MVP caliber according to you. We might have to revisit that.
MVP.
That is insane.
MVP.
Just I mean,
if he keeps this up, right?
Good. Yeah, go ahead. If he keeps this up,
you can it's undeniable.
I mean,
he's better than Patty Mahomes.
You make the case he's been the second best quarterback in football this year behind Josh Allen, right?
Josh Allen's been cooking.
He's been ridiculous. We'll get to Josh Allen later, too.
I don't want to talk about him.
Awesome win for Minnesota. Houston, get better. Good news is they have 2 0-3 teams in their division, and the other team is Indy. So they might just...
Houston, we have a problem.
They can win 9 games, easy and win. Let's keep it rolling. Your Dallas Cowboys. Your Dallas Cowboys. Actually, the Dallas Cowboys are my division pick. To win the NFC East, and they got absolutely
because they're so great at home.
Oh my goodness! Baltimore goes in there, and the final score is 28-25. It was never that close.
It was
now,
never
granted, Baltimore got to figure shit out quick because Dallas had an opportunity to win that game. So it should have never ever came to this point. But yeah, Dallas just gets absolutely manhandled. By Baltimore. They get their first win. Derrick Henry, vintage performance. You took the last one. I want to go Dallas here. I'll let you get the Ravens angle. Because this was my pick to win the NFC East, but I'm also a Giants fan, right? So like whenever this shit happens, I'm smiling on the inside. I'm happy about this.
Yeah.
But what I'm not happy about is the fact that Baltimore, they can't stop anybody running the ball. Baltimore rushed for over 250 yards in this game. For the entire season, Dallas has only rushed for 220 yards. Baltimore rushed for more yards this game than Dallas has the entire year. They go into your house 2 weeks in a row. You have teams going to your building where you're supposed to be absolutely fucking phenomenal in, and you get manhandled, absolutely destroyed. They look like They look like a team that is not going to do anything. They look like a team that can't beat good teams. They look soft. They look slow.
Wow.
Dak looks like the only one who's playing, to be completely honest with you. Like he's played okay. This game was not on Dak. This game was on the defense. They were barely on the field until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Where's Micah Parsons at? What's good? How come you guys can't stop the run?
He's trying to out-pot us.
He's trying to out-pot us.
Michael, you can't out-pot us. Like, I can't out-tackle you. You can't out-talk me.
He's busy trying to hold grown men accountable while saying he's not trying to hold anybody accountable because it's not his job. That shit doesn't make any sense.
Well, he should be holding people accountable. He's a captain, ain't he?
He got the C on his chest, but he doesn't want to hold. He said it's not his job to hold grown men accountable.
What's the C stand for?
I have no fucking idea. Coward. Fucking make something happen, my guy.
Wow. Called him a coward.
Nah, not nah, we ain't doing
that. I feel bad for you when you run into him on a
what'd you say? What'd you say?
A rainy day. He's gonna hold you accountable.
Hold me accountable. Play better, man. Play better. You want the bag? This guy, I saw stats. Throughout his 3 games, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. You can't be the highest paid defensive player and have those kind of numbers.
That's
fair. Can't happen.
That's
you have
fair.
You have to have a TJ Watt impact. You have to have Nick Bosa impact. It's just
That's
what
fair.
it is. And he's not playing close to that level right now this year. And they're just not getting anything from their defense. Like they thrived off of takeaways last year. They're not getting those. And they can't stop the run. They're
probably all worried.
If they play Philly, before I'm like, oh, they'll wash Philly. But now if they play Philly,
just run,
I'm not feeling good. They're just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah, yeah.
run all day. Saquon leads the league in rushing. It's not gonna be good for them. They gotta get that shit fixed quick.
Yeah. There could be distractions. I know Jerry Jones was worried and talking about the wrong kind of things that he should be worried about. But we won't talk about that right now. The Ravens, like you said, they gotta tighten up. They had an opportunity to lose this game. Obviously, and this is why everybody thought Derrick Henry coming to Baltimore would make them Super Bowl contenders right off the rip, because Derrick Henry and Lamar on a run option play is a scary sight, right?
Crazy.
A scary sight. But they've been doing things that's not what they're not known for. For example, Justin Tucker is missed 3 field goals already this year, which he don't do that. It's not. So had he made the field goal, right, it would have put them in a position where it's easier to close out. Still, they had a significant lead where you can kind of rely on the gameplay, just running the clock
28
out
to
and all that.
6
Yeah,
going into the fourth quarter.
yeah. So even with that, but still giving up, it's like mental mistakes. Zay Flowers, first off, who gets onside kicks anymore when you gotta tell them like hey, I'm gonna do an onside kick. There's no element of surprise. You just gotta hold on to the ball, and it's a mental mistake. Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Flowers, it didn't even get to 10 yards. He just had gone up and he bobbled it, and they got the recovery. But mental errors, and you got mental errors, and you got to play Kansas City against them and the refs. Good luck, because mental errors is not going to help you.
Against them and the refs. That shit is crazy.
Yeah,
Sneaking
perfect
that in
segue.
there.
Wow, perfect
Not
segue.
even. No, we're not even segueing into that game just yet. Because I
What do
think,
you want?
because I know I have a question to ask you. If you're Baltimore, like if you're a Baltimore fan, obviously a win's a win. But are you feeling any better? Like,
That's a great question. I guess it would depend on the fan you're talking to, because you have naive fans and stuff.
of
But
course.
I don't think you can feel better, honestly. Leading pass catcher is Zay Flowers with 3 for 20. Rashard Bateman 3 for 28. Where's their tight ends? Mark Andrews was a no-show, right? You still got Likely, but he had 1 catch for 4 yards.
That's the best he got. Well, good luck to them in the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. And then we already know in the playoffs, for whatever reason, they want to throw the ball all of a sudden. I don't know. I can't call it.
That's what I was looking for. Like in the fourth, it's like, all right, close the game. Derrick Henry, right? This is what he's known for. Close the game. They can't get back in the game because you're just gonna run it. What the fuck's going on, bro? Baltimore still hasn't good win. They needed to win. If they didn't win, I think that's where you stick a fork in them. Because they have a first place schedule. Yeah, they have a first place schedule. See, Cincinnati going 0-3, they finished last in their division last year, so they get a 4th place schedule. One of the easiest strengths of schedules. Yeah. Baltimore, no. And so that would have been really tough for them to come on. I think also from a psychological standpoint, we've already seen that the team's not the most mature team. What does that happen if things start going off the rails? They lose this game.
Yeah.
Especially if they would have blown it the way they did. Now Harbaugh, you got those talks swirling. Should he be on the hot seat? Lamar was that a sham MVP last year? So it was a big game for them to hold on and win, but they got to figure some shit out in Baltimore.
So
man.
You think it's more Baltimore or more Dallas?
On the comeback?
On what happened?
No, 100% Baltimore.
No, because the comeback wasn't really a comeback. Let's be honest. Like, there was no point in that game I thought Dallas was winning. Even when the momentum started to shift a little.
Well, the fact that Dallas had a chance.
I know. So my question to you is, do you take Baltimore or do you take Dallas? If you had to choose right now, who's going to make it further? Who are you choosing?
Oh, I'm taking Baltimore just based off the strength of the Cowboys. Season ends the moment the word playoffs show up on their field.
Okay.
So,
and even though we both picked Baltimore because we know how Lamar plays against the NFC teams, but I didn't expect it to be that bad. It
No,
was
me
bad,
either.
bro. It was
It was
bad.
bad. No, it was bad for Dallas. It was bad. Like I said, the score is not indicative of how the game felt. But the fact that Dallas even had a chance worries me about Baltimore. This is not the same defense that we saw last year where it was like, we get a lead, you're done. Good
Yeah.
night. Like what they did
Yeah.
to Detroit last year, you remember how they just murdered Detroit, San Francisco, Philly. They didn't play Philly last year, but Detroit, San Francisco, they just washed
That
everybody.
San Fran game specifically stands out because that was a crazy game. And
Right.
Lamar balled out. I remember that. And Brock Purdy couldn't do nothing.
Nothing against the
I
defense.
think he had like 4 or 5 interceptions, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a fact. Talking about Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers.
Wow, what
that's
a segue. That's a
Come
better
on.
segue.
Woo!
Wow, now I'm feeling like a mall cop.
San Francisco goes in to Los Angeles. They're calling it Levi South. That's how many San Francisco fans were there. And loses to the only team that's more injury riddled than they are, the Los Angeles Rams. My Super Bowl pick to come out of the NFC. I'll let you take the 49ers perspective. Because of course I gotta take the Rams.
You can't choose, first of all.
Come on.
You know what? Mentally, I'm a little fucked up because ever since I said that mall thing, I'm like, I wonder if that was where the downfall started to begin. Like overpaying cops to ride around in a fucking Segway for 8 hours a shift. I don't know. Well, back to the game.
Nothing. Have zero power.
It was crazy. But they made a movie about it. Anyways, right? So I actually was impressed with Brock Purdy and his performance.
Yes.
I think we talked about Juwan Jennings a lot, where it's like, I think he's going to step up. Brandon Ayuk is not worth the money they gave him. I didn't think he was, and I was so happy when the Patriots didn't pay him that.
Yep, you said that.
Well, I think the game ultimately came down to their running backs. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Jordan Mason is a fine running back. I think he can get the job done. I think he's proven it already. I just felt like when San Fran should have relied on him more, they didn't. So, because they had to lead the majority of the game, right?
Yep.
If not the entire game. So, run the ball. Maybe the Trent Williams injury affected that, and they went away from that. Maybe because of that. I don't know. I don't know what's behind the game call, the game calling, but the play calling. Excuse me. But I don't think they should have went away from that. Now, granted, Purdy was balling, so he kind of was doing a lot of things that you wanted to see him do. But just like you said, like with the Ravens, you got Derrick Henry, ice the game, run the clock out, and
right.
it just didn't happen, and they fell short.
Yeah, talking about missed field goals, that one for Moody was a big miss, and then
yeah. That's right.
The drops by Ronnie Bell and Brandon Ayuk.
Ronnie Bell, yeah.
Lost the game. That would ice the game. But then again, on the flip side, you got to credit Los Angeles. They were down at 1 point, 14-0, 21-7, and then 24-14 in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And they just kept on fighting back. No Cooper Kupp, no Puka Nacua, injury riddled defense. And they still kept on fighting. Matt Stafford was surgical. Kyron Williams was running hard the entire game, even though you're like 3.7 a carry, not crazy, but a lot of that was after contact. I mean, he was getting after it. And they had people step up. Tutu Atwell had a great game, 4 for 93. DeMarcus Robinson, even though he might get like 1 or 2 catches a game, they always seem like they come in pivotal spots or they're for big plays. I'm telling you, man, there's a reason why I picked this team. I trust Matt Stafford. Sean McVay is an offensive play calling genius. So we got to see that happen between him and San Francisco and Kyle Shanahan. But I like what you called out, because if any game where Brock Purdy needed, this was the game he needed. Because we always talk about whenever McCaffrey's out, whenever Debo's out, whenever Kittle's out, he struggles, right? he played incredible this game without all those guys. I mean, like you said, Jawan Jennings had an awesome game, 11 for 175 and the 3 touchdowns, but Purdy looked fantastic throughout the entire game. And
Yeah.
so he's beating those allegations of like he needs everybody to be good because he played fantastic this game without all the requisite weapons. Not sure if you heard CMC going to Germany to get doctor's advice on what's going on with his tendonitis. So that makes me feel like we're not going to be seeing him, which
Germany.
is Germany.
Germany. You could have went to
Germany.
Backus Hospital and got that diagnosis. What are you talking
Germany.
about? See, yo, you know what's crazy? When I talk about my shit, everyone's like, "Oh, man up." That's Christian McCaffrey, and he wants to go to Germany to get his shit fixed. I did hear about that. Let's be real. C-Mac is a game changer. Having him is always beneficial, but I don't think there's anything wrong with Jordan Mason and what he can handle as a running
especially
back.
not in that offense.
Yeah, so I think the Niners will be fine once they get Debo back, Kittle, and you have Jawan Jennings. If he's playing the way he's playing, I think they'll be fine. We'll just see how the play calling ends up when they have these leads. Because you gotta think, even right,
notorious.
I know. And if you got Samuel, he's that gadget player where you can run an end around or run some kind of run play for him to eat the clock, and you know he's gonna get 3 or 4 yards usually on a carry of some sort. So, yeah, we'll see, man. Christian McCaffrey to Germany though, that's kind of wild. I'll tell you what, if he comes back and he balls out like an MVP, Dirk Nowitzki, here I come.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna have a second half of my career.
He's gonna start driving a Volkswagen. So if you're a Niners fan, how do you feel at this moment about your chances to get back to the Super Bowl? Your division's tough. Arizona, even though Arizona and the Rams and you're 1-2, but Seattle jumped out to a 3-0 start.
Yeah.
And they look like a team to contend with that Mike
Their
McDonald defense.
Is playing, man. Yeah, their defense is playing. But with all the Niners fans I know, they're diehards. So they don't feel anything. They feel like, all right, we lost a game that we should have won. There's no reason why we shouldn't have won that game. We would have been 2-1.
Agree.
We're not even healthy. Loss. We're not even healthy. We'll be fine.
Yeah, bad team loss. The individuals played well, but this is not a game that in reality you should lose.
Yeah.
Man, great analysis by Quan here today. Not sure what's getting into him. Maybe it's that bourbon.
It's that bourbon.
The nightcap. Quan's favorite team to talk about. Kansas City.
I started, so you can go ahead.
Kansas City.
I started with the Niners.
I got you. Kansas City into Atlanta. Kirko chains yet again. Bright lights. Can't get it done. No, honestly, my biggest takeaways from this game is, and I'll take the Kansas City route because I know how passionate you are about what happened at the end of the game. This is a scary fucking team. And the reason why it's a scary, Kansas City is a scary team. And it's because regardless of how bad or, how offbeat they look, they win games. Like, and that's the scary shit. That's what we saw, the same shit last year. And they're a better team than last year. Rashee Rice is better. Xavier Worthy's only going to get better. Carson Steele looked really good. I mean, I said it last week, Kansas City's season doesn't start until January. So they're just going to be sleepwalking through the whole season. They're going to win 12, 13, 14 games. And it's just going to be like, all right, who's coming to play us in the AFC Championship game? So it feels very New England Patriot-esque right now.
Is it my turn?
The floor is yours.
The floor is mine. Welcome to the jungle. I feel like I'm in the jungle watching them play too. Got all the fucking zebras around them.
Oh, here we go.
I am so tired of it. I am tired of it. What I will say is that for Steele to have 17 carries, I love that because even with Pacheco out, it didn't make them say, you know what, we need Mahomes to throw 50 something times.
Yep,
right?
which I love.
And we know, as we talked, I think that Falcons secondary is better than what people think. Bates,
Agreed.
right? Simmons,
Crazy.
So I do know I always respected Andy Reid as a coach, anyways. But for him to coach that team that way, kudos to them. What I will say is, if I'm going up for a fucking pass and you hit me before the ball even gets to me, that is a pass interference in the end zone. I don't remember how much time was left because I was losing my mind with my parlays and everything else. But the Falcons would have won the game had that flag been thrown when they should have. Yes, they would have.
That's wrong.
There was like a minute and 30 something left. They would have took the lead.
They would have took the lead.
They would have gone for two. Gone for two. What's that? 8. That's 25.
Field goal game.
25.
Okay.
That's a field goal game.
Okay.
Mahomes is not throwing on that secondary like that.
He was doing it already though. That's the thing.
No.
They moved the ball well. They moved the ball well. They just settled for field goals.
My biggest takeaway of that game, other than the NFL being rigged or the Chiefs having more players than anybody else, is Rashee Rice is the new Kelsey.
Oh, yeah. And credit to you because you called that out early. So for those, Quan and I, we text during a lot of these games, and he's been saying that since really before the season started. They're like, watch, Rashee Rice is going to take a lot of those Kelsey routes, a lot of those under routes, a lot of those vertical seam routes. He's going to take a lot of those targets.
And I think they're getting him ready for when Kelsey leaves, that Mahomes can continue that on.
Yeah, I agree. And I heard that, Kelsey has a couple of really excellent games left in him, like just the way that he looks, right? And so I have no doubt if they hit playoff time, can Kelsey turn up? For sure. But they don't need him to turn up right now.
Yeah. Honestly, while I'm watching that game, there was a few routes Kelsey ran, and I'm like, is he running at half speed or is he just slower?
Yeah. Yes.
And I don't know if the enthusiasm wasn't there, but he looked sluggish. There was and he looked a little like not in football shape. Obviously, he's a good football player with the high IQ, so there's still a few plays where he gets himself open, finds a little spot in the zone, but realistically, he doesn't look like the Kelsey of old. And I don't mean because of the his gameplay and what he's been able to do stat wise. I'm just talking about eye test, right? Like you said it earlier, the eye test. I go off of that more than I do just the stats, to be honest.
Yeah,
just
100%.
Body language, all that means something. But what I will say is Falcons definitely could be 2-1 and probably should be.
Agreed. They could be 2-1. They could have been beating Pittsburgh. How about that? But they weren't beating Kansas City. Listen, until proven otherwise, if Patrick Mahomes gets the ball back with time, I like his chances. Period. And just so you know, I find it awfully convenient or awfully interesting that you mentioned this PI, but not the PI that Washington committed on the 2-point conversion last night against Cincinnati.
On Higgins?
Yeah. Similar play. Like literally the same exact play. Literally the same exact play.
I'm gonna be honest why I didn't bring that up. Do you want to be honest?
You don't give a shit.
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see it. Once Washington scored with 2 minutes left, it's over.
Yeah, you're just going crazy. You're probably rehearsing that welcome to the jungle bar, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, not surprising start for Kansas City. Let's expect more of their games to go this way. I'm not talking about the ref shit. What I'm talking about is just them winning the game. That's probably gonna happen, like maybe 11 more times. So Just call it what it is, man. Listen, I watch the Patriots, and that's just how it goes, man.
I don't remember it being that. No, I don't remember it being that
You
blatant.
don't. Oh boy,
I'm being serious.
Let's
I don't
move on,
remember it being
man.
that
I
blatant.
can't fucking do it. I can't fucking do the hypocrisy is too much.
I'm
Let's
being
rapid
serious.
fire the rest of the games.
All right, rapid fire. Let's get the fuck out of here.
If we didn't talk about your favorite team, it's probably because they suck. Period. That's just life. So except for this first team, because the Buffalo Bills definitely do not suck. My reaction: Josh Allen, early MVP favorite, like he typically is in September. So watch that. And Jacksonville's just fucking bad, man. They're bad.
Yeah.
No, that's it. That's like, he's like,
that game pissed me off. I would have won a parlay, but the fucking Jags sucked so bad they took James Cook out and he didn't get his rushing yards.
That's a fact, actually. And you know what?
Go.
Shout out to the Bills for making this game
and I hit so many legs. I hit so many legs. Christian Kirk.
I saw it.
I hit all those legs except for James Cook. But whatever. It is what it is. Bills continue to destroy.
Dominate.
Like you said, Trevor Lawrence has not been living up to his contract.
Talk about buyer's remorse.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about that game. This next game with Detroit against the Cardinals, that was interesting.
Your pick. You called that game right.
I did. I called that game right because I do believe Detroit is the best team overall in the NFL. And that's why I got them going to the Super Bowl.
In the NFL is a crazy take.
In the NFL.
That's an insane take, actually.
Okay, thanks. So, but the I don't know, man. Seeing Murray ball out so well the week prior and then going into this game, I can't. They're one of the teams that I don't know what to do with them week over week.
Yeah, I mean, I think this whole season's been that, right? Like typically after 3 weeks, we got a good idea, team's identity wise, what they look like, who's going to be good, who's going to be bad. And we're just like, it's so hard to tell. Like you'll have a good team. For example, we think Houston's good. They get whacked by Minnesota.
Yeah.
San Fran should be this juggernaut. They lose to the injured Rams.
Tampa's doing really well.
Lose to Denver.
Smoked by Denver, yeah. Raiders come off a big win against the Ravens.
Cooked by Andy Dalton.
Red Rocket.
The Red Rocket.
That's crazy.
Green Bay loses with Jordan Love, wins their next 2 games with Malik Willis. Looks like a actual NFL quarterback. So, yeah, hard to take. My takeaway from this game is Detroit's defense is carrying while their offense figures it out. Jared Goff has taken a step back from the play that he was the level he was playing at last year. But I think they have too many weapons. Like Laporta got carted off though towards the end of the last game. He came back. He's had a slow start to the season. Amon-Ra looks great.
You know what I was disappointed
Gibbs looks
in?
great.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I believe he was getting there anyways. And you know how I feel about this player is they did not consciously get Jameson Williams involved for some reason. Like we've seen in the last couple games, right? Like they made sure they got him the ball, whether it was an end around, quick screen, even if it's golf thrown downfield a couple times. I didn't see them getting him involved.
Right. Yep.
And I believe that they're going to need to do that to really take that next step.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't just worry about. You can't just have St. Brown, especially when Laporta's not playing up to what we expect of him.
I agree. Yeah, they need Jameson Williams, but I will say probably the play of the week, that hook and ladder. I'm on the rock.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy. And the shovel over to Gibbs, ridiculous. Yeah. Rolling on to Thursday night game. I did a little quick recap of this. Patriots roll. Yeah, we're not gonna be saying that for a long time. Jets roll the Patriots. Flip the script. Extra. Read all about it. 24-3. Flashes of vintage Rodgers. Little discount double check action. Rodgers.
Oh my god.
And New York Jets.
I just talked to somebody.
He looked great.
And they know I'm a Patriots fan, so I was like, "Hey, how's your Patriots?" And I'm like, "Great. They're exactly where I expected them to be." Like, it's not a surprise
them to have one win already. That's bold of
No,
you.
I didn't. But what I'm saying is I expected them to be playing poor. That was what I was
Fair.
basically saying. I didn't expect this. Like, I mean, I didn't expect them to be winning. We even called this game. I called the
We
Jets
did.
winning this game. So, yeah, we could keep it moving.
We'll keep it moving. Let's go to the other New York team. A disappointing outcome, guys. The Giants win. Tennessee might not ever win a game, so I think our shot for the first overall pick is gone. But Neighbors looks incredible. 2 touchdowns. Just ridiculous. The catch out on the sideline was ridiculous.
Crazy.
The back of the end zone touchdown catch that he had was also crazy. And the Browns fool's gold. Their defense, we thought last year, was ridiculous. It's kind of regressed a little bit under Jim Schwartz, and they just have no offense to speak of. So
Yeah. I don't got much to say other than Neighbors is a generational talent. I think we said it earlier where he's done something a rookie wide receiver has never done, which is 20 catches, 3 touchdowns in 3 games.
ridiculous.
With a fucking terrible quarterback. Like, even when they asked him about did you know you could jump that high? He's like, no, I just tried to high point it. But like, he really shouldn't have had to jump that high. Realistically, you know what I mean?
It's just bad, bro. It's bad. What's actually insane though is I know because we talked about how we said how disappointed I was in the Giants one episode, the defense. So obviously we know Brian Burns, impact player, Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, but they have this rookie, and now his name's escaping me. And I wrote it down somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. But he's been playing incredible. I'll have to find his name. I'll probably throw it in the show notes. But rookie cornerback, defensive back to have. He's been playing really, really good. And so Giants have done actually a pretty good job of developing these defensive backs. If you think about like Landon Collins, Xavier McKinney, they both left to sign for big money. They draft pretty well defensively.
No, they did.
So.
And I don't know if we talked about it. I know we didn't talk about it on the show, but I don't know if we talked about it off air as much. Where I watched Hard Knocks, and I actually enjoyed seeing the behind the scenes of the whole Barkley thing and the Giants and the draft and how they was going into the draft and what they did to move up and get players. Even Theo Johnson, who had a touchdown, but this guy didn't make an accurate throw, so he made it way more difficult than it needed to be. Yeah, I like where the Giants is going. And
Drew Phillips. Drew Phillips is his name.
Drew Phillips. Okay. Keep an eye on him. Obviously, I think Saquon leaving the Giants hurts. Singletary hasn't been playing bad. He had a costly fumble. Yeah, he had a costly fumble, but he hasn't been playing bad. I don't like comparing the two because I think that's very difficult to do with a talent like Saquon and what he's already doing, right? If you think about it, well, actually, that's a perfect segue. We'll talk about the Eagles-Saints game. That was actually surprising. I thought there was going to be a lot more explosive plays, at least on the Saints side. And they didn't. Did you know that they didn't give Saquon one rush the whole first quarter? That is insane. That is like I didn't understand that.
Insane.
And then once they give him the ball, what's he do?
Ridiculous.
He goes crazy.
Man. I mean, just vintage what we saw in the Giants. You know, it's what we always dreamed of when he was a Giant. Imagine if he had a good offensive line to run behind.
Yeah.
Well, now you don't have to imagine it anymore. It's a shame he's doing it in Eagles green and not Giants blue. My main takeaway from this team, because I was like you, disappointed in New Orleans. Philly, extremely susceptible defense. And they just shut down the Saints.
Yeah.
Which was, to me, was like, but we talked about this. Derek Carr, right? Like, let's pump the brakes, guys. Let's remember who he is, right? He has these stretches where he gets on a heater and then he gets off the heater and he doesn't look so hot.
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway from this is, are either of these teams good? Like, they're both 2-1. The Philly could have easily lost the game to Green Bay. They should have won the game last week against Atlanta. And if it's not for Saquon popping that big run and then Dallas Goedert taking that drag, and that was a well-designed play, right? But the defenders just ran into each other. That's why Goddard was able to take it for 70.
Yeah.
They lose this game. So are either of these teams good? Philly, their division. Now watch out for Washington. Well, we saw last night, but Dallas has its weaknesses. Obviously, the Giants are the Giants, so they just might luck out depending on how Washington continues to play. But New Orleans, what the fuck happened? Like
Yeah.
you did it against Dallas, you should have been able to do it against Philly.
So I think, well, but again, we just saw with Dallas how bad they are, especially defensively. Like,
that's true. Kamara Cooks last week.
yeah.
So
So it's
bad.
it's hard to tell still.
I don't
feel
know.
like the jury is still out. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Are either of these teams good? We don't know. We don't know if they're good or not. We don't know.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Chargers at Steelers. The Steelers are 3-0, man. All Mike Tomlin does is win.
He does. And I can't stand the Steelers. Shout out to my cousin Sam, my boy AG, longtime Steelers fans, my boy Willie, but I can't stand the Steelers. If Justin Fields can play the way he played, they have a great shot of going somewhere in the playoffs.
It's tough
because we know defense wins championships, right?
And their defense is real.
So yeah, that's
that was my takeaway. That was my takeaway from the game.
Yeah,
Justin Fields not turning the ball over, and the Pittsburgh defense equals a win.
And to do it against that offensive line is pretty significant.
Right now, Herbert did get hurt in the later parts of the game, but when he got hurt, you kind of felt like Pittsburgh was able to run the ball well enough that they were able to prolong drives. And even though they weren't capping everything with touchdowns, they were eating clock.
Yeah.
And Los Angeles is just not explosive. I don't care if you have Justin Herbert. No disrespect to anybody, but Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnson, even though he has 3 touchdowns this year, is not going to get it done. Especially not against a defense like Pittsburgh who doesn't give up big plays.
Quentin Johnson's the only receiver that catches the ball like this.
Just like, awkward, man. Awkward shit. But shout out to Pittsburgh, man. 3-0.
Yeah.
Moving on, Miami, Seattle. Miami needs to make a quarterback move, man. They have to. We don't know the timetable on Tua. You can't continue to lose games and put yourself in such a big hole. That
I seen a report that Miami should go after Jimmy G.
That's not a bad option.
It won't hurt.
Skylar Thompson cannot play quarterback in the NFL.
Not only can he not, it looks like he don't want to. Like, I'm sure, like, I'm serious. It got to a point where I was like, I think he's faking that injury just so he don't have to go in the game.
Like, it was bad, man. Now, granted, Seattle's defense looks ridiculous. And Geno, another sneaky dark horse MVP guy through 3 weeks. He looks fantastic. But yeah, bro. That shit was bad.
Yeah, I'm all set.
Miami's the only team through 3 weeks in the NFL who have never led in a game. Their win came, their game-winning field goal came as time expired. So they have not led all season.
That's a crazy stat.
Crazy stat.
This guy's
another surprising score. Denver going into Tampa and beating the Bucks 26-7. Really manhandling the Bucks. They owned this game. I'll let you take this one first because I know how you feel about Bo Nix. You actually weren't as down on him as other people were. So I'll let you.
But I actually don't want to talk about him.
No,
because I have in the past where I was like, he's old enough to have experience. That's for sure. He's 30, fresh out of college. My takeaway while I was watching this was it reminded me of how much I can't stand Todd Bowles. I cannot fucking stand him. If it wasn't for him, Brady would have 8 rings.
Bro, what I hated, why was he smiling after they lost? Like, did you see after they lost, they were going to shake hands? Why are you smiling?
No, I didn't see it. I did see that
ass kicked.
He reported he wants Mike Evans more involved in the offense. Like,
had to be.
How fucking obvious is that, Mr. Bowles? Like, I don't know.
It made me. 10, though,
that's what made me really say. That's all I could take away from this game. I was very surprised with the score and the outcome because Tampa's been
Yeah,
on
me too.
on a hot streak.
On a heater. Yep.
Baker's been playing very well, but going into the game, I thought it was going to be more of a running attack, anyways, because Denver's corners, like you just mentioned, they're not bad at all.
Yeah. I think I agree with you. Pat Surtain's 1 of 1. But what I would say about Denver, when I was going through over all of the games, I was like, wait a minute. Let's look back at is Denver actually okay? If you think about it, their losses came to Seattle, who
Yeah,
we think their defense is really, really good,
yeah.
and Pittsburgh. Both of them are 3-0. Both really good defenses. Bo Nix is a rookie.
I think that those prepared Bo Nix for something like this. Like, oh, I went against these guys. They're giving me a whole right field. He was running like he was fucking Jaden Daniels.
It was family fish fry. Family fish fry.
I think you're right to some degree. I think they're boringly good is the problem.
I wouldn't say boringly good. Maybe boringly okay. But you'd go to good? You'd go to good?
No, okay is a better statement.
All right.
We just don't know where they're at yet. But they, great call out. Like, the two teams they played are both undefeated.
And their defenses we think they're really good.
Yeah, so we'll see. Jury's still out.
Jury's still but I would say, because we've been saying that, jury's still out on a lot of stuff. I think we know for sure that what we've seen over the course of the first 3 weeks between Pittsburgh and Seattle. Now, granted, Pittsburgh for sure, right? What they did at Atlanta was really convincing. Justin Herbert's still the quarterback of the Chargers. But let's take stock in who Seattle played. Bo Nix in his first game. The Patriots, no disrespect. The Patriots, and the Patriots were able to move the ball on them. And now Miami without Tua.
Oh.
But yeah, maybe an okay team.
Oh, he wants to talk.
Moving on, Packers going to Tennessee. Malik Willis revenge game goes in.
He went crazy. Bro.
He went crazy, and the thing is, it wasn't just like it wasn't those, how they say, like the first kind of 15 plays of the game were scripted. He was moving out of the pocket and making plays.
Yeah.
Malik Willis, shout out to him. I was down on him. I'm like, after seeing what we saw in Tennessee, they're like bad.
Yeah.
But it goes to show, right place, different result. I like Sam Darnold. I like Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, Andy Dalton, right? Like, right situation, right coach. Maybe you are good. Maybe Tennessee is just the new Cleveland graveyard for quarterbacks, because Will Levis is definitely bad.
He's bad, bro. He's
definitely bad. 3 more turnovers yesterday.
He relies on just throwing the ball up and hoping somebody comes down with it.
Good news is, well, hold on. Before I get to the good news, you're right. He's like, D-Hop's down there somewhere. Bad news is that's not Houston D-Hop that you're throwing to.
Yeah.
Good news is no crazy quote from Brian Callahan, the head coach. So there's a win there, Tennessee. Your coach did not berate your quarterback or team this week. He might have done it privately. Maybe he got some lessons like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And another shocking score to round off our week 3 recap. Panthers go into Las Vegas and really just handle the Raiders. That made Antonio Pierce give us the quote of the week. We have players make business decisions. Now we need to make business decisions. Andy Dalton cooked up.
He cooked up. He got so the 2 games I'm disappointed in most is the Rams and Niners and the Panthers and Raiders. Because Kyron Williams, I was going up. I had a great lead. I had Neighbors playing. I had Jefferson playing. And I lost because of Chuba Hubbard and Kyron Williams. Chuba Hubbard looked wild. Yo, that is one thing, though. Like, Dalton is a professional.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. That's fact.
He played in Cincy. He played with some great players. He had a good career, I would say. So you put him in a position to come back and show his professionalism. He showed it. Checking down when he needed to be. He hit Deontay Johnson with that nice pass going to the right. I just and then I didn't watch a lot of this game, so I'm not sure on what the Minshew mania happened, but I know that he got pulled eventually. He's
For
still
Aiden
gonna be the
O'Connell.
starter, but
Yep.
McConnell came in for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, just really a surprising performance, especially because we think the Raiders defense would be decent, right? Antonio, he had them playing the best defense out of any team really towards the end of last year when he took over. And just that has not really translated to this season. And like you said, Andy Dalton, professional quarterback, has won in this league, at least in the regular season. Deontay Johnson's a capable receiver, and he showed it.
For sure.
Chuba Hubbard revival, because where was he?
Yeah.
But it just goes to show what can happen when a team gets confident. Like, hey, a change is made, and this is not to poo-poo on Bryce Young. This could be the best thing that happens for him. That he gets the chance to sit and learn from a professional quarterback like Andy Dalton.
For sure.
But if you're Las Vegas, you gotta look in the mirror and be like, this should have never happened.
Yeah.
Should have never happened.
So when I was watching this game, I didn't see Bowers on the field as much either, and he didn't have damn near as many targets.
Nope.
Which killed me. You would think they would probably have more, especially because they was trailing the whole game. So more pass attempts, obviously. I know that Pierce does want to control the line and run the ball a lot more, but it didn't work.
Boy, do they miss Josh Jacobs. Big time.
Yeah.
Like, Zamir White's just not getting it done.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were high on him because they're like, volume's going to be there. Volume's not going to be there if you get behind like this because he's not.
Madison's been playing too. He's been getting
and Madison's been poaching snaps too. So, interesting slate of week 3 games. Was rough. I went 8-8. I went 8-8 last week too. So my picks have literally been the definition of mid. Quan 9-7, my guy. Congratulations to you.
Thanks.
But week 4 is a new week. So we're gonna get ahead, rapid fire, make our picks, who we think's gonna win, and then we'll wrap the show. So kicking off Thursday night, Dallas at the Giants. Who you like?
Man, this is crazy. This is crazy. I'm gonna say it. I think the Giants is gonna take this game.
No, I can't see that happening. And here's why: we just historically don't play great against the Cowboys. So you like the Giants, I like the Cowboys. I'm a Giants fan, by the way. It's so hard for me to pick them. It really is. I don't believe.
You seem pleasantly happy to pick the
I don't believe in them, bro. I don't believe in Daniel Jones. And the problem is, if they win, do you see Daniel Jones isn't that bad? You can't win if your quarterback isn't that bad. They gotta be good. They have to be good. So you got the Giants. I got the Cowboys. I mean, if they win, I'll be happy either way. Don't get me wrong. Kicking off our Sunday games, divisional matchup, a big one early in the year. 2-1 Saints at the 1-2 Falcons. I like Atlanta.
I like Atlanta too, but I don't think it's gonna be an easy game at all. That's gonna be a good game. I want to watch that game.
New Orleans again. Pumpkin watch, guys. We're getting close. Derek Carr is gonna be on that carriage. I'm trying to tell you guys. 0-3 Bengals at the 1-2 Panthers. Battle of the Cats. This one's gonna go to the Bengals though. They're gonna get their first one
for Andy Dalton. Revenge game.
What you got? I got the
Bengals. I got the Bengals.
They
have to win.
Oh, if they lose this, it's absolutely over for them. Rams at Bears. I mean, 2 in a row? Give me the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams. Dude, that offensive line is horrendous, man.
Horrendous. Jared Verse, their defensive rookie, has a big game. NFC North matchup. I mean, I thought you were going to say something after that, so that was kind of anticlimactic, but that's okay. Now I know for next time. NFC North matchup: Vikings at Packers. This is a tricky one.
It's not. My guy the MVP candidate himself, will go into Lambeau Field and get another win.
Give me Green Bay, man. Give me Green Bay
in Lambeau.
In Lambeau to knock off the Vikings, give them their first loss. Man, Malik Willis. I was so off of him last week. He impressed me but he impressed me. So
Flores is gonna have him so fucking confused.
I trust LaFleur. I trust LaFleur. Rodgers, Love, Willis. You can put me in there. We'd be cooking. Jaguars at Texans. Give me Houston, man. They ain't shit to talk about here.
Yeah, Houston.
Houston goes to 3-1. Jacksonville probably just ceases to exist soon. Win for everybody. 3-0 Steelers at the 1-2 Colts. Yeah, this is tough, man. Anthony Richardson has to have a good game. This is a tough defense to do it against.
Taking the Steelers.
Yeah, so am I. Give me the Steelers. Broncos at Jets in MetLife. Give me the Jets here. Jets go to 3-1.
I'm taking the Jets.
Man, Aaron Rodgers MVP season loading maybe. This kind of double check action.
No.
No. I see how you are.
No.
Eagles at Tampa. I don't trust Philly, bro. I really don't.
I don't either. I think the Bucks go ahead where they can just maintain the lead.
I agree with that. I just don't trust. I think Tampa's going to exploit the defense. Mike Evans gets involved. Chris Godwin continues to eat. I like Tampa. Commanders at Arizona. This is going to be a game to watch.
This is a good
window.
One.
Arizona at home. Jaden Daniels coming off a big win in the jungle. Jaden's jungle. The Daniels Desert, maybe?
The Daniels Desert.
Arizona let me down last week, man.
Give me the Commanders.
You're a Commanders guy.
I am a Commanders guy.
You're a Commanders guy. This guy is like, Patriots ain't going. What's the next patriotic team? The one team that plays in DC.
No.
I'm gonna take Arizona one more time. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. has a really big game. Patriots at Niners. Give me San Francisco. Not much to talk about. Chiefs at Chargers.
Chiefs.
Yeah, it's easy.
They got too many men on the field. Can't beat fucking 13
You're such a
guys.
hater, bro. You're such a hater. Oh my goodness. The game that no one will be watching. Browns at Raiders.
Give me the Raiders.
Raiders?
Yeah.
They have no, I was gonna say they might have equal quarterback play, but Deshaun Watson is so bad.
Fucking Crosby is gonna have 7 sacks, bro.
He is so bad, bro. He can't beat allegations, let alone a fucking football team. Yeah, give me the Raiders. Give me the Raiders.
That is crazy.
And then Bills at Ravens. This should be a really good Sunday night game. We're still in September. September Bills are crazy. Ravens need this win bad though. Give me Buffalo, man. I like Buffalo. Their balance is too crazy. I like their defense. Ravens don't know who they are yet. Give me the Bills.
Damn. I want to go with the Ravens so bad, but I love Shakir. Oh man, that's a tough call. In Baltimore,
that doesn't mean anything to me. They lost to Oakland. I mean Las Vegas and Baltimore. That don't mean nothing to me now.
They were in Baltimore for that game?
Yep.
I gotta go. I can't go against Josh Allen right now. He's playing too good.
Too good. September Josh Allen is next level.
Yeah. If I gotta take Sam Darnold because of his play, I gotta take the Bills because of Allen's play.
Dolphins at Titans is ridiculous, actually. Like,
let's do a coin flip.
This is a mid-off, bro.
I'm gonna take.
Give me Tennessee.
Oh man, give me the Dolphins.
Give me Tennessee. Will Levis actually went into to Miami last year, won a game.
I don't give a fuck about that.
This shit should just be struck. They might lose money, to be honest with you. Who the fuck wants to watch that?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Titans at Dolphins. Holy shit. But the second game of the doubleheader redeems itself. 3-0 Seahawks take their perfect record into Ford Field to face Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, the Lions all day. That's my Super Bowl pick. I gotta
You already
take
know
it.
who the fuck we're going with, bro. They wrote me off, but I ain't right back. I ain't fucking
Wow.
right back. 4-0,
Wow.
baby. 4-0 Detroit Lions.
I tell
We'll
you what,
see.
if he goes to that, what's that, Ford Stadium, Ford Field?
Ford Field.
If he goes there and gets a dub, that's
Game
impressive.
over. Detroit.
On a Monday night?
Detroit about to become a giant tent. They sleeping under the bridge, baby. Give us Seattle. Seattle, my guy.
That's crazy.
Come
That's
on,
your
man.
hometown. That's like, I should have knew
Come
that.
on, man. You already
This
know
guy's
what it is. I was just in
a
Seattle
Seahawks
the other
fan.
day. Went to go watch the Yankees cook up the Mariners. Beat them 11-2. Shit was light.
How they doing against the Orioles?
Don't do that. Hold on.
How
Let me
they
check the
doing against
score
these
real quick.
guys?
If they lost, the show's not coming out. They lost 5-3.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, there's always next week. Anyways, man, what a fucking show. What an awesome week of football.
Before we leave, I do want to address this because I've been getting a lot of people reaching out and asking, like, you know, when are we going to go back to some of the other things other than sports? And I told them, don't worry, that's coming. We're just, you know, we're getting our feet wet back with the football and the sports because that's what started this. That's what motivated us to get into it in the first place. It's what motivated us to get back into it. So we're not going to sway away from it. We're going to continue that, but we're going to start continuing. We're going to start bringing up little gems and dimes that we can drop in either the episode or you'll see Matt or myself do like a quick snippet maybe until we start actually providing shows surrounded around, you know, other topics than sports. Do have some people waiting in the wind that want to be on the show. It's people that I personally want to give a platform to talk about what they have going on in their life, promote their business because we're big into small businesses. As you know, I reached out to my sister. My sister is definitely interested in doing that. There's a lot of other individuals that we both know that could benefit for having such a platform to speak their piece. That will be coming to audio and video near you.
Near you. This, my guy, it's not 2000. It's like coming to a Blockbuster near you. It's fucking insane.
You know about Blockbuster.
Guys, this is Infamously Speaking. 3 weeks in a row. We told you this shit is, we said it, I said it. First time in a long time, but not the last time. Well, this is the third time.
He's consistently
not in a long
mid.
Time. That's fucked up. Consistently mid. We didn't get a headline from the Titans coach, so that's the title of the episode. Consistently mid. There it is. You heard it here first, guys. And as always, think critically.
Think critically. Speak infamously.
This is the third fucking week in a row, guy. Yo, I'm docking his pay. I'm done. Think critically, speak infamously, man. We out.
We got business decisions to make.